Thanks for tuning in to the NHL Flash presented by Bar Down Hockey. You're watching Round 2 previews and predictions. I'm Tyson Geick. This Central Division matchup features two teams that are quite familiar with each other. This will be the third time in as many years that these two teams will have gone head-to-head in the playoffs. That's right, folks. It's the battle of the Chicago Blackhawks and the Minnesota Wild. Two teams that have some of the most annoying goal songs in the entire National Hockey League. It's this versus this. For the Minnesota Wild, it comes down to one name. Okay, maybe two names. Devan Dubnyk and Zach Parise. I strongly believe that the Wild's fate rests on the shoulders of these two players. The Wild bring the hottest power play percentage of the playoffs into this series, sitting at 33.3%, while the league average sits at 17.7%. When leading after either period, the Wild have a win percentage of 100%. The Wild also won each of the games that they outshot the Blues in. Now you can throw away all of the regular season statistics that you want, but you can't deny how hot the Wild have been during the NHL season's second half up until now. They handed it to the Blues, who I thought were a great cup contender. Clearly the Wild ain't nothing to mess with. The Wild have a pretty strong blue line with Suter and Brodin as the first pairing, while Spurgeon and Scandella round out the top four. These four defensemen will be heavily relied upon to keep the handful of Hawks offensive stars off of the scoreboard. Seriously, how on earth is that Blackhawks roster under the salary cap? I just can't seem to get it. Now moving on to the Chicago Blackhawks. The Blackhawks are strong in every aspect of the game right now, except between the pipes. But looking back, this really hasn't stopped the Blackhawks from winning a Stanley Cup in the past. Antti Niemi wasn't necessarily a proven goaltender back in 2010 when the Hawks won their first cup in a number of years. And even still, Corey Crawford was a big question mark for the Hawks back in 2013 when they won. Regardless, we all know how important goaltending is when it comes to the playoffs. Will Corey Crawford be able to stabilize his play between the pipes? And if not, will Scott Darling be able to come in and steal the show? These are some serious questions that we have to ask ourselves when making predictions. The Blackhawks have three players within top 10 of playoff scoring so far. Taves sits tied for first with 8 points, while Kane and Keith sit tied for second with 7 points. Seabrook had a great showing against the Predators in the first round, while the other top four blue liners in Hjalmarsson and Oduya have been sound defenders as well. You've also got Bickle, Saad, Hossa, Versteeg, Kruger, and Shaw to keep an eye out for on offense as well. The Minnesota Wild do have the momentum edge right now, as they've been running hot for months. Momentum is key in the playoffs, and while it is an intangible, it does play a huge role in the psychology of sport. The Blackhawks will win if they do what they do every year. Play skilled, high chemistry, smart hockey, and they get a good performance out of whoever ends up between the pipes. The Wild will win if they get a great performance out of Dubnyk and Parise, and they find a way to grind the Blackhawks down. Once again, we have a really tough series to call here. I am on the fence with this prediction, but I do have to make a pick. The NHL Flash prediction, Blackhawks in 7. Things extremely interesting.
And the Oscar goes to...
Now when PK Subban was ejected from the game, he learned that Mark Stone had returned to the game to play, and he threw this quick fit.